Good morning, everybody. My name is Ruel ROCKSTAR, owner of ROCKSTAR Barbershop here in Chicago. And I'm an artist and educator here with Caliber Beauty. Today, we're going to go over some basic hair cutting terminology just to give you guys an understanding of how I go about my haircuts. So, today, I want to start off with giving everybody a great big hand, everybody that woke up early and decided to join this live to take your skills to the next level. And hopefully, I could connect with you guys and show you some awesome stuff. Um, so, one way I like to start off with my clients at the barber shop is pretty much talking to my client and asking the right questions. Why asking the right questions? Because based off those questions, I'm going to know rather my job or what I'm about to do is going to be hard or easy, right? So, uh, good thing I like to start off with is my client is pretty much checking out their style, how the way they talk, the way they move, type of shoes they have, uh, type of clothes they got, how do they sit. I do not put on the cape on them. Never do I put on the cape. I what I do is I like to ask them questions and see how they move, um, what type of movement they have, and then based off that, I could really give them a tailored haircut. Because at my shop, we don't sell haircuts. We sell identities. We give solutions, um, and that's one way I love to start off my day with my client. So one big important question that I like to ask my client is, how do you feel at this point with in this stage with your hair? Now the client says, I like the length. I like everything about it. I just have a couple areas that are bulky and whatnot. So now there I know that my job is gonna be easy. It's gonna be I really don't have to do any changes. He likes the length. He likes the way it flows. So maybe I just have to tighten it up a little bit. Now, if he says I want something totally different, uh, I do not want to style it. I hate the how the hair lays in my head, the bulkiness in the back. Now I know that I am going to have to work, right? So those are good questions to start off with your client. Cutting hair is easy, is making decisions that is the hard part. Um, so today, what we're gonna do for this guy is we're gonna give him, based off his amazing hair that this dog has had, um, we're gonna go something more of what's trending right now. It's that's going into my shop here a lot in Chicago is something with curtains, right? So I felt what I was gonna do initially was probably do like a mullet. Um, but I think if we show a little bit of everything based off like the connection on the sides, right? The cutting zone and the connection to our styling zone, along with the fade on the side. So what we'll be doing a curtain haircut with the part down the middle, a three on the sides, with our tapers on the side and a taper in the back. I feel like that haircut um will allow you guys to understand how to go about doing any other haircut, because the steps that I'm going to show you is going to be one of the fastest ways to attack this haircut and to use it in any other haircut, right? So the way I like to start it is saturating the hair using a lot of water, right? And what we are going to do, we are going to make sure that our client is facing nice and straight. And we're gonna review the head, just checking out all the hair growth pattern, right? Okay. Now what we're gonna do is I always start my first section out in the back, right here in the crown. What I love to do is dividing my cutting zone and my styling zone. Now, there's a lot of ways to go about this haircut. This has been the most effective way for me to go about this haircut at the barbershop. Um, just now, if it's more of a tailored haircut, I do get a little fancier with different sections. But as far as for this, I feel like this is the best and fastest way for the barbershop. And so the way I like to start is we're gonna push everything to the front. We're gonna find the best placement for the crown just because this is a doll head and I couldn't find the crown on this bad boy. But as you could see, get a little closer for you guys. We are going to have to create it, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just look for the best placement for the crown. Okay. And I feel like right here should be a good place, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create our first section, which is gonna be from the crown to recession. I'm going towards the recession and I'm not gonna aim straight to the recession. I'm going towards the recession and I wanna find the most naturalist hair growth, right? So I'm gonna go based off the shape of the head. Usually what I like to do is s- stop around the ear. So I'll go from the crown, go towards the ear, make sure that's nice, and then we just follow the head straight to the crown. I mean to the recession. Okay? So you see it right here. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. One thing about me, I love doing sections. I think it's very satisfying. I could do this all day. So again, we're gonna place the comb right there in our crown, and we're gonna go do the same thing. We're gonna go from here, and we're gonna follow the head shape because yes, we could go from the crown straight to the recession, but what I want to know is I want to understand the hair growth and the head shape. Okay, so I could actually go from the crown to recession, right? I could do this and call it a day. But I want to understand the hair growth. I want to understand the head shape, right? So that being said, I followed the head shape and it brought me to here. Same thing on the other side. We see it, right? But now I do see that my area right here in the recession is not quite isolated yet, right? Because I do see that if I cut this hair, this is still part of the styling zone for me. So I will isolate that. I will create a proper disconnection, right? So now that I know that I am going to be using this for my styling, right? For the curtains, I'm gonna isolate that. So usually what I do is go from behind the ear, pretty much around the apex, and I put my thumb, and then I put place my finger where my the ending of that styling zone is going to be, just to isolate that, because we will need that later. Okay, so we're gonna take that over here. Perfect. And we are going use a clip, right? Same thing on the other side. Okay, same thing. You see, all this is gonna be part of my styling zone. All of this. So I do not want to cut this. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna create a proper disconnection where I'm gonna identify the back of the ear, which is part of the apex up here, right? So I'll go from right here towards the recession and save all that, because all of this I will be using as part of my styling zone. Okay. Alrighty. Now that we got that, we're gonna isolate this, get it out of the way. Righty. Righty. Get this here. Okay. All right. Now we have our styling area isolated, right? Both sides from the crown. Now, what I am going to do is, now that I have my styling area separated, I'm gonna go and create my first guide. My first guide is gonna come off out in the back. All right. I'm gonna identify the O bone. I'm gonna create my first guide, and I'm gonna create a whole guide going all along the parietal ridge, which is the widest part of the head. Pretty much where every haircut starts off, right? Every barber is familiar with the parietal ridge. That's where pretty much all the fades end up in. Um, so the way I am going to be doing it is I'm gonna identify where my first part should be. And how I do that, I use my comb and I put it flat against the head, right? And once I see that that it's a straight line, I'll put my thumb there, creating a straight line, move it out of the way, create my first guide right here. You see it? And boom, that is my first guide, right? So what we are going to do here, since we're going to be doing a number three on the sides, my fingers will be flat to the head, because I know that my fingers are equivalent to a number three guard, right? My fingers are equivalent to a number three guard, meaning if I get my fingers and put them close to the skull, to the head, and I cut all along the parietal ridge, means that I can grab a number three and go all the way up to that point, which saves me a lot of time, a very lot of time, right? So a good thing for you guys to do is find out what measurements are your fingers, and that would help you out. Okay, so let's go on and let's add some water right here. And I'm gonna show you guys the same thing that I demonstrated earlier with my comb. Okay, we're gonna identify it. We'll grab our comb, make a flat, straight line. Okay, keep our thumb there, create our first guide. Ready? And we will be cutting right here. And of course, we're gonna be using our 440 Ace. It's my babies right here by Caliber. Amazing. Okay. So we're gonna have our fingers close to the sculpt, and then we're gonna do our first incision. Boom. Right? Another good tip that I like to do is everything along the sides of parietal ridge, we're gonna do a square shape, right? Meaning I'm gonna pull this straight to my chest, and this is going to be my guide. This is going to make sure that everything is precise, right? So every time I cut, I move and take one step to the side, and I'm doing the exact same thing, following that guide to the parietal, all along the parietal ridge. Same thing, same thing. Take my other step, making sure I'm right in front, pulling straight out to my chest, and another step, straight out to the chest. See my guide right here. I'll be lifting this up a little bit, just because we're gonna be doing a little taper on the sides. Okay, there is my guide. Okay, you can see my guide all along right here, right? And we'll be doing the exact same thing on the other side. And this is gonna be super, super easy. And again, we're pulling out straight to our chest, taking another step, straight to the chest, making sure it's a nice square shape. Same thing. Okay, making sure I take a step every time I cut, making sure my posture is nice and straight, shoulders up high, shoulders up high. Put some amazing energy into this and smile. Because when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? Okay, so now that I have my first guide right here, right? I have my first guide. I have everything under this line my guide is gonna be on number three. So I'm gonna grab my three and go straight to that line. Right. So I have my first guide. Now I have my separation. Right. I have my cutting zone and my styling zone. Everything from here is gonna be super easy. Okay, so now let's go over what we've done. We created our first section from the crown to recession, right? Follow the natural head shape. We isolated and identified that we were going to use this recession area as our styling zone. So we created a proper disconnection, got that out of the way, right? Same thing on the other side, flipped the hair away, created another guide, my first guide, which was going to be in back of the head right here by the crown, by the O bone. I identified the straightest line, created my first guide right here, fingers to the scalp, all the way along the parietal ridge, right? Fingers to the scalp. So that again is my fingers are equivalent to a number three. Now that we've done that, we're gonna clip this away and we're gonna connect the top into our cutting zone. How are we gonna do that? It's gonna be super easy. Now we're gonna go from the crown to the middle of the head, right? Straight to the nose. So we're gonna go from right here. We're gonna split the head down the middle, split the hair down the middle. And right here is where we start to use some elevations. Okay. Right here is where we're gonna do some elevations. Okay, so now the hair is split down the middle. We are going to connect styling zone into cutting zone, right? So we're gonna do this. These are gonna be the curtains. So this is where I like to use my elevations, right? Um, for elevations, for me as a barber, I tend to stay away from all the degrees, right? 45s, 90s. I love to use a body term, which is right here to my chest, straight out. It's gonna be more of a square shape. If I lift it up right here to my chin, it's gonna be more of a, or actually, middle of the chest is gonna be a soft square. Up to my chin is gonna be more round, right? And then, of course, if I point this down to my belly button, is gonna be more of a triangle shape, right? So for the back, um, I would say for the back, we're gonna do more of a round shape. As we get to the mastoid, we are gonna start dropping it down, right? So we'll start from round, soft square to triangle, right? Just because we want to save this, this is gonna be our curtains, right? So let's start. I start out from the back. I identify the guide that I'm trying to connect, and I also see my guide, right? My guide is right here. I'm not grabbing this bottom guide. I'm grabbing the longest, shortest part above my crown, which was my first guide, and I'm gonna elevate it to my chin. That's gonna create more of a round shape in the back, right? As we get to the side, we'll go soft square, square, triangle. Okay. So we're gonna elevate this to the chin. We're gonna pull it out. I'm gonna see my guide is right there. And then I cut. Boom. Step one side, one step to the side. Same thing. Looking for that guide. It's right there. And cut. Okay. Now I'm gonna go down to the middle of the chest. Identify. Okay, now we're by the ear. Actually, I always skip that and always go right here by the curtains. So for the curtains, I want to see where I want the curtains to hang, right? So where would it bend? Where would the hair start to bend? Where would it look nice? Okay. So I'm thinking something around the eyebrows, right by the eye. That's where we're gonna put our first guide for our curtains. So now I'm gonna direct this down to my belly button. It's gonna be by the eye. And then I take one step over here. And now I see where I have to meet it all. Right. So from right here, now this is where I start to elevate a little bit. Now that we're right here by the ear, we're gonna elevate straight to our chest and connect, do our connection from short to the long, right? Boom. Okay. Now we have that. See how that flows. Flows nice and beautiful. Okay. See that? Okay. I like it. Very nice. Okay. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And again, we're going to do elevations. We are going to start from the back. We're going to go to chin, round, step, round, step, middle of the chest, soft square by the ear, square. Now we go to the front. So we could create a guide for our curtains. So we'll grab one of the guides from over here of what we previously cut, right? Which is right here. We'll grab a little hair strand from the middle of the head, right? And we'll identify the guide and cut. Okay, now that we have that, we'll take that back over here. We will look for that guide, which is right here, doing a triangle cut. Okay. Now we have that. Actually, a little bit less. Boom. Now we start to elevate. And then that's where we do our connection, which is right there. All we're doing is connecting the dots. Boom. We'll see how that lays. Looking nice. Perfect. Okay. Now we just connected the top to our cutting zone. Right? Now, this is where the fun starts. The clipper works. Okay. So now we did everything. Now everything is connected. Everything is connected. Everything looks really nice, nice and flowy, right? Other than this right here, because it's going to be a three. But look at how that lays already. It's looking really, really nice. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to cut the top. because it's gonna leave us with this triangle shape, right? Because we over directed a lot of stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet the hair and split it down the middle. Well, actually, I'm not gonna split it down the middle. What I'm going to do is split it like this because I'm not sure if I'm gonna cut the front just because I want those curtains to hang, right? So I'm gonna split it down the apex right there. And I am going to cut everything from the back. And I am going to connect, right? So I'm gonna grab these sections from the apex and I'm gonna identify. You see how since we split it down the middle and we connected our styling zone into our cutting zone, we over directed everything to the sides. So it left us with this triangle shape, right? So all we have to do is pull it straight out and identify the longest, shortest points from the side and just connect. And same thing. See the guide, longest, shortest point, connect. And then for the crown, what I always like to do is I never cut it straight up. I always over direct to the towards the front and then just do that connection. Just because I want this area to be a little longer. I don't want this to be shorter, so we're gonna over direct it forward. Okay. So now that we cut the top all along the apex, I am going to connect the back to the front. How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna take sections, create a little mohawk section, right? Down the middle. And then I am going to connect this from right here to there, just like that. Take another section. And I'm not cutting any of the front of the fringe. I'm just doing that connection if it needs it, right? Just because me as a barber, I want everything to be connected, everything to be blended. I know uh there's a lot of haircuts that have this connection and visually it looks nice, but there's something about connecting everything that I love, right? So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna see if any of this needs any connection from the apex right there. You see it? We're just gonna slice and connect. And again, we're creating a triangle shape right here, right? We're gonna do the same thing over here. We're gonna look for that connection. It's right there. Boom. More. And that looks good. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to Spray this bad boy with some water. And I am going to use some grooming tonic. It's Ruzel. I love using this stuff because it protects the hair as I blow dry it, and it also gives me the desired look that I am looking for without using any product. Okay, let me get the blow dryer. Today I will be using the Anu 3.0 Quasar by Caliber Beauty. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn this bad boy on. I am gonna have it at low speed, medium heat. It's at 140, right? So what I'm gonna do is actually first, what we have to do is split that down the middle. A good way to find the natural part down the middle is by wetting the hair, brushing it back, brush, 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 using the white teeth of the comb. I brush back and then I push forward. Okay, so again, brush back, push forward, right? And then right there, you see it split naturally. Again, we'll do it again. Brush back, push forward, right? And you can see it right there, part naturally. One thing we don't want to do, we don't want to create a part, right? Because we don't want to force it. We want the hair to just speak for itself, right? So you can see right here, it splits naturally down the middle. It looks nice already. We'll do it again for you guys. So we brush back, and then you could even use your hand and just push forward, and then you'll see the little section right there. It looks beautiful. Look at that. Okay, let's do it one more time for you guys. Brush back, forward, and boom. Okay. Okay, now that we have that, we could blow dry. Okay. Okay. Now back to the quasar. Again, low speed, medium heat. And we're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna blow dry. And then what I like to do is pretty much just going one, two, three, move on. One, two, three, move on. One, two, three, move on. Again. One, two, three, move on. One, two, three, move on. Boom, boom, boom. Then right here we could pump it up if you want a little bit, just because we're gonna just do some nice curtain. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. And we're not gonna fully blow dry this. We're just gonna let it air dry itself. I just like to do this before I come in with my clippers, just because it gives me an understanding of where I want to end up to be, right? It's like life, right? We all have goals and a destination. My goal is to reach this point, right? So this is my goal. My goal is to connect this to my styling zone with a nice connection, right? And that's um it's like life, yeah. It's just like life. Everybody got goals, and um if I would have started the other way, I could have done the clippers, but I would have had no destination, right? My clipper work would blend into this. I would still have to come back and do more shear work and then over blend because the connection is not there. So by creating a goal endpoint is the best way for me to attack a hair, right? So again, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna do one, two, three, and I'm not putting the blow dryer on the scalp. I'm simply just gliding on the hair, right? So one, two, three, 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 one, two, three. Wow, looks nice. Okay, same thing. Two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three. Okay, all right. Okay, now you can see how it just naturally. We're not even done yet, but it's still flowing very, very nice. Look at that. Wow. Nice curtains. So I like to split it down, comb it, brush it back, and then just push it forward with your fingers, making that nice little look, natural, right? Push with the fingers. Looks nice. Okay. So now that we're done with that, we are gonna come in with our clippers and let's isolate this. We'll go from the crown, right? From right here. I mean, from the recession, comb flat and go straight this way. And then isolate that. Just pushing it to the side just so we could come in with our clippers. We're gonna be using our Focus by Caliber. This right here is my favorite tool. It's nice and small, compact, brushless motor, magnetic guards, precise click mechanism. Um, amazing, amazing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go. I didn't have to cut this beautiful hair, but we're gonna sacrifice it, right? Because I could have done like two, three more haircuts with this. All right, so we're gonna do our number three. We're gonna go straight to our guide that we created, and we're gonna flick out right there to the number three with the number three, right? Then we're gonna create a taper right here. So, okay, see that? Okay, straight to the guide. Again, right there. Okay, same thing over here. We are going recession straight up, isolating. Okay, okay, same thing. Alrighty. All right. So now we have everything cut. We're gonna go on and create our connection on the sides. So we see all that hard line right there, right? So there's a couple ways we could go about getting rid of this line. One way I love to use is using my texturizers by caliber, right? The wide tooth from the comb. What we could do is scoop it, grab it, and we could start erasing this just by touching the tips, moving up, or we could come with the clipper over comb. It's very up to you. Um, I love using this technique. It's just because we get more of a control, right? You see it's starting to go away. You just keep snipping, snipping, snipping. And we could do that all along the parietal ridge. But for this case, I'm gonna be doing clipper over comb. I just wanted to show you guys a couple ways I do this. Okay. Once you get familiar with all your tools, you could start creating your own style, seeing what works. But you could see with the texturizers, all you gotta do is stay on that line and just blend it out. See? Okay. But now, so we could speed it up, we're gonna be doing our clipper over comb. What I'm gonna do is, since we used a number 3 on the sides, I'm gonna put in my number 1.5 open, right? Just to be safe and that I will not overcut. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing, we are going to comb this down. We're gonna scoop, make sure the hair we wanna cut is at the bottom of the comb. And we're gonna cut. And by me using a 1.5, it gets me secure so I will not overcut. Boom, brush, and cut. And this is just to be keep it safe with you guys, right? Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, you could take off the guard. You could scoop it, and then you could cut little by little, just the tips, just to get familiar with what you're cutting. Okay, thing over here, right? Same thing on this side. Okay, okay, now what we want to do is do that taper. And then all of this will soften it up with our texturizer. Okay. Now we have that isolated. We're gonna pull down the model and we're gonna do our first guide using the zero. All right. So what we're gonna do, we are going to I like instead of going straight across, I like doing like a little smiley face when I do my tapers with these type of haircuts. Okay. Alrighty. We'll lift this guy up a little bit. All right. There it is. So we'll be doing a little U shape in the back. Alrighty. Now, what we're gonna do here, make sure all this nice and bald. We're gonna come back with our trimmer, which is our Laser Plus digital display, nice and compact, small. And we're gonna reduce it. We're not gonna go all the way to our initial guide. We're gonna stay below it and flick out. Okay, there you go. And again, we're staying below that other guide that we created, which is with our zero. Now that we have that guide, we're gonna go with our saver. We're gonna just tap the bottom, maybe pull down with your saver to blend, and then just tap just to fade that out. Okay. Now that we got that, we're gonna do our second guideline, which is gonna be with our clipper all the way open. We're gonna do like another inch. Okay. There it is. And what I like to do here is get rid of this line, the first guide. So how we're gonna do that? We're gonna go two clicks down, right? Which is gonna be to our middle. We're gonna stay on that line, the zero line, and we're gonna start to erase it. And I'm not going up here at all because I do not want to create another guide. So we're staying simply in our number zero guide that we created and we're just erasing that. Now we're gonna go use every notch from here. So one notch down and just tap that line. Then close it all the way to remove that line because what you use to create that line, that's what you're gonna use to erase that line. So I'm gonna use just the corner of the T and tap that out. Then you just play with the lever. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna use our number one. We're gonna use our number one and we're gonna open it up all the way. We're gonna do another guide, another inch, another guide. Okay, so another guide. Now we're gonna go to our number two, and we are just gonna start erasing this guide right here, which is our number. One and a half. We're gonna grab the two. We're gonna open it up all the way. I'm gonna use open to the middle and close. And remember the sides is a number three, so this two is gonna blend straight to it. Middle, close. And again, I'm just staying on that line that we created with our one number one open. All right. Now we're gonna grab our number one and a half guard. We're gonna open it up all the way, and we're gonna stay on that one and a half guideline that we did again. And we're gonna do open, middle, close. This is the exact same thing. The only thing we're not gonna go as high as the number two. We're just staying on this line now because this is what's gonna erase that one and a half guard, that one open. Boom. Okay, now I only have one guide left, one guideline, which is gonna be the half, right? So that one we did it. We did our second guide with our number one and a half open, right? With the one open. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start softening off this line by using middle and close. So we're going to the middle, and again, we're just staying off on that line that we want to soften up. It's all the way in the back. We close it up all the way, and we're just tapping that line away. Okay. I opened it up just to soften it up and play with the lever to see if I got everything. Again, I'm opening it, closing it to the middle, and closing it all the way. One thing I love to do is listen to the hair being cut. All right, now we're gonna go to our last one, and this is gonna be our 116. We're gonna do the same thing: open, middle, close. And now this is where you don't wanna chase this guard, right? Because this one will create another line. So with this one, we just wanna stay on that line. We're gonna close it midway. And then again, I'm just trying to stay down here. I'm not trying to create nothing, no guideline, nothing. I'm trying to erase that last final line that we created. Okay, same thing. We're gonna travel along this over here. We're gonna close it midway. And with this one, I'm just staying down there, just erasing that line. Because this one is close to zero. There it is. Beautiful. Um, with the back, I did with these type of haircuts, I personally like doing a stretched out blend. I think it gives it a nice look. So I stretch out the blend just by creating my guides a little longer, stretched out. All right. Um, Now we do the sides. We're gonna do the exact same thing. You see the back is nice, it's flowing nicely, right? So what we're gonna do right here, we are going to clip this away a little bit, and we're gonna create our guide. Okay, so I have right here our number two. We're gonna close it all the way. We're gonna go down with the beard just to reduce that weight right here. Okay, there you go. We're gonna use the number two because we use the number three right here. I'm gonna go slightly behind the ear, and I do have it open. So now we're not gonna create a guide right here with the zero since we have such a small place to work with. We're gonna work down. We're gonna do two, middle, close. Alrighty. I know we went over time, but my bad. We're gonna right here in 1.5. We're gonna do the exact same thing: open, middle, close, close, and then we are gonna use our one again, and we're gonna do the exact same thing: open, middle, close, and then for these dark spots right here, we'll use our texturizers. Same thing. We're gonna use this 116. We're gonna tap that open, middle, close. Really nice and light. And we're gonna go take off the guard. We're gonna do the same thing: open, middle, close. And then we could even use the teeth, corners of the teeth to point cut and eliminate some dark spots. Okay. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. Alrighty. We're gonna isolate this. We are gonna do two, reduce the bulkiness of the beard. Beautiful beard. We are gonna do number two, open, middle, close. Same thing, 1.5, open, middle, close, open, middle, close. Okay, so for here, we could even go get fancy, right? We could even create a little line in the corner right here, right? We go in with our clipper flat, and then the top line is very nice and sharp. So how do we get the bottom line sharp? We flip it over and we sharpen up the bottom of that line. Perfect. Right? So what we could do there is fade it out. Now that we did the 1.5 right there, we'll just fade out the bottom into that back part. That would give it like a little different contrast. So now we're gonna fade it that way, adding a little creative style to this. Okay, we're gonna get our 116 guard and just hit the corner, middle, and close. Now no guard, same thing. Open, middle, and close. Righty. Now for those dark spots, we have our texturizer. We're gonna scoop and go for those little dark areas. Okay, like right there. Okay, we're pretty much done. Just gotta style this bad boy. Um, this is where all the detail comes from. So you see all these little dark spots. This right here eliminates all the dark spots. Um, One thing I love to do is using my mirror because what my eye doesn't catch, my mirror will catch. And what my mirror doesn't catch, my phone will catch. So a good trick is to bust out the phone and check out to see if it has any lines, any dark spots. And then this would eliminate all of that. Righty. See some dark spots right here. And with the doll head, it's a little harder. But we could get this guy looking good. Imagine what we could do to a live model. Okay. Now, see these dark spots right here. We're right here. Okay, now that we have all that done, let me in here. Okay, now what we are going to do is style him up. Okay, this is my best part. I love this part. Okay, now this guy's gonna look cool. Okay, so what we're gonna do the same thing we did earlier. Gonna wet this guy down, and we are going to grab some paste. Grab some paste. I'm gonna warm it up. It's getting dark out here. It's about to rain. We're gonna warm it up till it almost disappears. Warm it up really nice. And then we'll start from the back just because we don't want too much in the front. And then we'll work through it. Okay, work through this. Some water. Okay, now what we are going to do is find that natural part in the middle. Right there. Right. Now we're just gonna blow dry this little bit, just a little bit. You could see how it flows really nice. We're gonna do the one, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. Okay. Do that side. Now we're gonna do the other side. Same thing. And it's already flowing really nice. Okay. One, two, three. 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 Okay. Now we got that. I love to use a white comb, one of these bad boys. All right. We're gonna brush this guy back first. Push him back. Okay. Do this. Part it down the middle, and then we just comb back, comb back, and then we could always just push it forward, give it that natural, really natural curtain look, right? Could even come with this, add some little texture to it, brush back, let it fall nice and natural. That looks very, very, very nice. Like I said, this is one of my favorite parts, uh, just because I love styling. But there you have it, y'all. You could even wear this a lot of ways. You could you could push it back, push it back, you split it really nice up here, right? You could give them a natural look like that, and just looks very, very nice, very natural. Check it out, y'all. This is my demonstration for today here with Caliber Beauty. I want to thank every single one of you guys that attended and giving me the time to share some knowledge with you guys. Hope you guys take it in and I'm ready for your questions if you have any. And remember, when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And you guys being students, a quote that helped me throughout my whole journey is um, after I learned this quote, it changed my whole outlook of life, right? And it is what you do now determines your future. So go get it, right? We're all driving our own destination. We're all driving our own car. Um, there's nobody to blame for anything. If you're not succeeding and learning, it's because of you. Um, it's so easy. Cutting hair is easy. Making decisions is the hard part. So my advice to you guys is go get it. You got this. Go get it. Thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, ask away.
Thank you so, so much. Okay, so that blow dryer,
Yes.
obsessed with it. I have it and I
Oh
love
my
it
God, I
so
love it
much.
too.
But I'm confused on the mode button.
Okay.
Like you have your controls on the side. What is the purpose of the mode button?
Okay, so the mode button it helps you lock away, right? So instead of you going back here to
Yeah,
all
yeah,
to regular to your regular mode, right? Right here, you're able to switch drastically
quickly.
from 250, 175, 250 to regular hot. So it just helps you lock in different modes. To
Got
me,
it.
it helps me a lot just because it helps me to set the mode of what I like it to. Once I set it, I press it and it straight to that mode instead of me just going back to the other knobs and looking for that mode that I want, right? So for that mode, I love using that mode. It's awesome. Once you get familiar with it, it's go time from there. But
And
the
then,
new plasma technology is amazing.
so I had the original, the 2.0.
Yeah, the
That
2.0.
that had the self-cleaning. This does not have that, correct?
It does not have it, but it does.
Come
You
apart.
could
Yeah.
come apart, yeah, and you're able to clean it.
Yep. Okay.
All
I'm
you
just
gotta
making
do.
sure that I didn't miss something like, mm,
Nah, yeah. So the other one had the reverse feature. This one, you just pull it apart,
yep,
clean it, dust it off, blow it off. Easy to
perfect.
clean. Um, but yeah, yep. What do you guys think
I
of the haircut?
I love the haircut. My husband doesn't know it yet, but he's getting that
It's
because
an
he's
awesome
growing his
haircut.
beard, so his beard looks like that. So it's just a nice blend from the beard
Yeah,
to the haircut.
nice and soft. Something
Uh-huh.
a lot of people are wearing this today nowadays. A lot of people want something very close in the bottom, but something with longer hair. I feel like if we get the right contrast of the baldness into the
Yep.
darkness, it looks amazing. And then
Yeah,
even with
I
the
love it.
curtain, you could even just comb it to the side if you want. You know, you could do a lot with this haircut. So it's not necessarily that he just doing the curtains, but you could mess it up. You could. This will go with him. Any type of style will go with him.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for spending your morning slash early afternoon with us. I greatly appreciate it. And then schools, if you have not put your attendance information in the chat box yet, please make sure that's in there before I end this call so that I can get your certificate sent over to you. But otherwise, thank you again, Ral.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And till next time, y'all. God bless you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.